You do not get a second chance to do this. I've been in the marketing game a very long time, and I'm always surprised to hear that people don't know what above the fold even means. Maybe they've heard this term in marketing school, in business school. Maybe they've heard it from some course or some book that they've bought, but they don't actually know what it means and how to implement it and why it's important for them. And the fact is that the above the fold section of whatever you're working on is the most important part, and it deserves more of your attention than anything else. My name's Christopher Huntley from teachingrevolution.com, where we help you sell the knowledge you already have to people who need it. I've worked with big companies like Coca-Cola, BMW, Unilever, Citibank, and I've worked with small, more niche brands to help them grow their business. And 99% of the time, the first thing that we look at is what are they doing in the above the fold section? Even those who know what that means don't necessarily understand how to apply that to almost everything that they're doing with their marketing. And in this video, I'm going to break that down for you, and I'm going to show you the exact first step that I would personally take in a $10,000 growth audit for any business. And this is going to give you actionable insights that you can put into practice today. And the best place for us to start is by focusing on the money, because you know attention is the most valuable currency. The moment someone lands on your website, opens your email, or scrolls past your ad, you have less than 3 seconds to grab their interest or lose them forever. This critical moment happens above the fold, the part of the content that's visible before scrolling, clicking, or taking any action. If you don't nail this first impression, then nothing else matters. At teachingrevolution.com, I've helped thousands of entrepreneurs transform their businesses by mastering above the fold optimization. Whether it's your landing page, your email, your PDF, your ad, your social media profile, the principles remain the same. Hook them fast or lose them forever. And that's why above the fold is more important today than ever before. Above the fold was originally a term about newspapers. It referred to the top part of the newspaper that people could see from the newsstand. It's the page that made them want to open the paper and read the rest. It grabbed their attention and made them believe that it was valuable enough to consume all of it. And today, the term above the fold refers to any digital touch point where you have mere seconds to engage your audience. So this applies to your landing page. If your headline and hero section don't instantly communicate value, visitors bounce. This applies to your emails. The subject line and the preview text determine whether your emails get opened or trashed. This applies to your PDFs and your lead magnets. The cover and the first page decide if the person's going to keep reading or if they're just going to give up. This also applies to your ads. The first frame of your video or the headline of your ad decides if the person's going to watch or if they're just going to scroll past. And this applies to your social media profiles too. Your bio, your cover image, your first post need to instantly communicate credibility and build intrigue. If your above the fold content doesn't stop the scroll, you're leaving money on the table. Don't do that. So here are 3 conversion killing above the fold mistakes that you definitely want to avoid. Most entrepreneurs get this completely wrong, and it costs them leads, sales, and growth. Don't be like them. The first mistake is using weak headlines that don't speak to the reader's pains or desires. Your headline is the first and sometimes only thing that people read. If it's vague or self-centered or boring, you've lost them. So it shouldn't say, "Welcome to my business." It should say, "Struggling to get clients? Here's how to book 10 new customers in 30 days without ads." The second big mistake I see above the fold is not including a clear call to action. A big, clear, bright button that's very easy to see, and it says exactly what they want to hear. The fact of the matter is this: if they don't know what to do next, they'll leave. So you need to make it absolutely clear. The third big mistake I see above the fold is just people trying to do way too much in too small of a space. Now, you've got a limited amount of space above the fold, and there's a reason for that, and that is good, because you need to maximize that space with things that actually matter. And a lot of times you don't need to cram extra messages and extra elements into the page. When there are too many options, people get decision fatigue. So instead, what you want to do is use your above the fold design to guide the user to the specific action that you want them to take. And it should only be one action. Don't use multiple headlines. Don't have multiple links on the page. Don't make them decide too many things. All you really need is one powerful headline, a strong subheadline, and a clear call to action. When you have those three pieces, then your above the fold section is golden. So here's how we skyrocket conversions. Together with the team at teachingrevolution.com, I've helped clients double their email open rate, triple their landing page conversions, and scale their businesses, all by optimizing above the fold elements. And here's how you can apply these principles right now. But before we dive into these details, make sure you press like and press subscribe so you see more videos like this. Okay, the first place that you're probably thinking about applying the above the fold principles is your landing page. Your headline needs to speak directly to your audience's frustration or desire or pain that they're feeling right now. It shouldn't be vague. It shouldn't be clever. A lot of people get that wrong. And it also should not be brand centric. So those are three things that you want to avoid in your headline to make it better. Instead, use power words that trigger emotions: struggling, proven, guaranteed, secret. So here's a bad example of a headline. Welcome to our marketing agency. Here's a good one. Tired of wasting money on ads that don't work? Here's how we doubled our clients' ROAS in 30 days. And then you need to have a subheadline that supports and builds on your headline using a benefit-driven statement. What the subheadline should be doing for the headline is to add more clarity and to build more intrigue. So a bad example would be, we help businesses grow. And a good example would be, discover the exact system we use to generate $2.3 million for e-commerce brands without increasing ad spend. And then you probably want a hero image or video. And the best way to think of this is you need to demonstrate transformation. You need to demonstrate the before and after of what they are experiencing now and where they want to be. So you can show the before and after, you can show happy customers, or you can show a happy person holding your product. And the text in the image or the beginning of the video might say something like, what if I told you you're leaving thousands on the table? So the hero image or video needs to basically get started with this big, bold statement. And that's what we call a hook. And then you need to have a call to action button. And the button needs to have benefit-focused text. So you're not writing things like, click here. Instead, you're writing, get instant access. And you're not writing, sign up. You're writing, start free trial. And another important thing to remember about the call to action button is that it needs to be bright. It needs to stand out. It needs to contrast with the other colors on the page so that it's easy to see and easy to click. But your landing page is not the only place where you need to apply these above the fold principles and really optimize your conversions. You need to do this with your emails also. In your email subject lines, you need to create urgency and build curiosity. For example, if you write, your 48-hour bonus ends tonight, this is more likely to get them to read the rest of the context of what this email is about. And then you have the preview text. This needs to reinforce the subject line, but include a cliffhanger or open up a loop. For example, we might write, here's what you're missing, ... And then when the subject line in the preview text get them to click the email and open the email, we still need them to read the email. And that's why the first line is very important. It needs to jump straight into the value. You might start with something like, you're only one step away from getting this result that you want to get. So you can see that the above the fold principles apply to emails and apply to landing pages, but they also apply to PDFs or lead magnets. And here we usually have a cover page that needs to look very professional. But that's where most people stop, just making it look professional. Instead, it needs to have a big benefit-driven headline. It needs to make a strong promise. So the title of this thing that they are getting should not be marketing guide. That's very bland, that's very generic, Nobody really wants that. It doesn't sound like it's going to be fun to read or use or implement. Instead, we could use the Underground Playbook, how we scaled to 100K a month on autopilot. Now there's a promise. Now there's a big benefit that they will get by reading this. And then similar to the email, once we get them to read it, once the cover and the title and everything that they see on the outside gets them to open up and start reading, we need to make sure that that first page has a banger. It needs to immediately deliver value and have no fluff. We don't want any introductions. We don't want any filler. We just want to get right into it so they have a reason to keep reading. So it's best to just start off with something very strong. Like, here are 3 hidden loopholes that let us bypass ad costs. Start with something very strong to keep them reading so that they consume as much of this PDF or lead magnet or whatever resource it is, as much of that as possible. That's your goal here. And above the fold applies to social media and ads beautifully. This is where we see a huge return on our audits. In the first 3 seconds of a video ad, you need to hook them with a bold statement or a big promise. Or you can ask them an intriguing question like, what if I told you that, and then we can include something that they believe and say, what if I told you that that's not true? Oh, okay. So a bad way to start a video ad would be, hi, I'm John, and today I'm going to talk about marketing. And a good example would be, what if I told you that Facebook ads are a complete waste of money if you don't do this first? Big difference there. One of the easiest places for us to use above the fold optimization is social media profiles. You need to clearly state who you are and what you do, and so many people get that wrong. So if you say, I help 6-figure coaches scale to 7 figures using paid ads, then that's very clear. We understand exactly who you are and what you do. If you write digital marketer, nomad, coffee lover, changing lives, then it's not very clear what you do. So you can see improvements in all of these areas and a lot more simply by doing an audit of your above the fold optimization. You've already optimized it to a certain extent now, and our job is just to come in and review your optimization and give you some suggestions about how you can improve your conversion rate, how you can get more leads and more customers, basically doing the things that you're already doing now, just slightly different. So here's what we specialize in: high converting marketing strategies that grow your business fast. Stop losing visitors with weak messaging. Turn more leads into paying customers. So now it's time for you to upgrade your above the fold game. Check the info under this video and reach out to get an audit of your above the fold optimization. We'll analyze your biggest conversion leaks and show you how to fix them. Because the truth is, your business lives or dies above the fold. And in this world of endless distractions, you don't get a second chance at a first impression. By mastering above the fold optimization, you'll increase engagement, boost conversions, and grow revenue faster. The question is, will you leave it to chance or will you take control? Now let's get to work. My name's Christopher Huntley, and I will tell you exactly what you need to do to get more paying customers in your business. Just ask for an above the fold audit using the information under this video. Thanks for watching. Speak soon. Bye-bye.